Today I'm going to show you how to turn a rusty old axe into a classic pit and polish finish. Hey folks, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys watching Stumptown Axes. I'm Paul. If you're enjoying the content, please share, subscribe. Go to my Instagram page where I have lots of examples of the work I do. Occasionally sell stuff on the website, stumptownaxes.com. You can go there. I have merchandise. Every little bit helps. I appreciate all the folks, all the customers. And now more and more YouTube folks are coming on board, and I appreciate it. Today's project, as you might have seen, is going to be taking this Hudson Bay pattern and essentially restoring it. I'm not going to get super in depth with a full project, but I'm hoping that I'll essentially show you how I approach a bit like this. I hope you enjoy. All right, so where do we start our project? So first, obviously, you're going to need some sort of bit, some sort of piece to restore. Now, how I went about selecting this, I'm not going to get into super big detail about, but I'll give you a couple pointers. I could still be wrong with this. This could be not that old. There's a lot of factors in this that could still be a failed project, but it's not going to be a failure because we're going to learn something from it, and you're going to learn something from it. First, I inspected it in person. I wouldn't buy something that looked like this without seeing it first in person. So bidding online from sight unseen, you're really taking a risk. If you can get it cheap enough, then yeah, maybe you get 10 or 15 heads and hope that 2 of them are really good. You can do that. But things I look for, I had a nice eye here, so I know that when I make a handle for it, boom, I'm going to have something that can go on fairly easy. There is some scaling and stuff I'll deal with, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. The second thing is, of course, I noticed, boom, I got a big chip here. But the proportions, so I first saw this online at a local auction, and I went in to have a closer look at it. And after I saw it, it's a little bit bigger piece than I thought it was. And I know I can profile that back, and I'm still going to have a good amount of meat left. So those factors, it's still straight. It's not bent. There's no other hiccups here that are going to prevent me from making this a nice piece. So the first step with a project that has this much rust on it is going to be soaking it in a solution that's going to eat up some of that rust. Now, some people can use vinegar. In this case, I'm going to use Evaporust. Not a sponsor, but give me a call. And yeah, call me. We can do something. But that's going to sit in a Rubbermaid container, and I'm going to set that on top of my furnace. So it works a little bit better if you have a little bit of heat with it. And yeah, then it's kind of a hurry up and wait. So I'm going to let that soak for a couple days. Then we're going to come back and kind of talk about where to go from there to get a good old-fashioned pit and polish. All right, keep in mind that the smaller the container that you can get away with and then still fill it up to the brim, the less waste you're going to have. So make sure you can use different size containers in your grocery aisle. They have all different kinds of Rubbermaid containers there, different sizes and stuff that would probably fit your needs. I got these just literally today from my grocery store, and I bought another size too for double bits in the future. And I've been using a larger one, but to fill that, I've had to use it in more solution than I'd like. All right, and we're back. So this has been soaking for under 24 hours, and I put it on top of my furnace where I knew there'd get a little bit of warmth in there. I don't know exactly how warm it is, but it's warm, way warmer than room temperature. We can see that it's nice and dark now, so it's actually been working and been doing something. When we first poured the stuff in there, it was kind of that yellow color, and you could see through it pretty good. But let's see what we got here. We got condensation, so we know we're getting a little bit of evaporation here, and see where we're at right now. All right. So we can definitely see that we're nicely removing some rust there. So what I'd like to do at this point, I got a wire brush. Just going to agitate some of this a little bit to get in the nooks and crannies. Because these pits are pretty deep in there, I think it's going to be a good thing to kind of move around some material. I'm going to let this soak longer, but it's good to check on it. I think we're going to get a good result here, and it's actually probably even this afternoon, so maybe just barely 24 hours. And I think we're going to be at a point where we need to be to progress. So I'm going to continue doing that, and yeah, we'll check it in just a little bit. So after a little bit more soaking, here we have a almost rust-free bit. So this has already been out. I have cleaned it off. I took some additional scrubbing with the brass brush here, and then I actually put a little Axe oil on it. I wasn't sure how long it would be sitting till I got back to the project, and I wanted it kind of just to have something there to sort of protect it, and so surface rusted and start back up and that kind of thing. So next is kind of like the plan. What are we going to do to this thing, right? You know, it needs some work. Drew like a diagram here. Is just kind of easier to talk about sometimes that way. I guess there's kind of 4, 3, maybe 5 different things we're going to do. We're going to need to fix this edge. Obviously, just to have it in there, we have this. We're going to have to bring back the edge to the furthest point of this chip here. But the good thing is if you look close, it's hard to see in this light, but approximately on this line here, everything here is hardened. So this is my temper line, and we'll have, so we have lots of meat left. So like bringing this back a little bit is not going to really be a problem. With the Hudson Bay, they tend to be a little bit pointy on the toe here. So I'm gonna try and, you know, and this looks like a fairly new, you know, like they messed it up early on in its life. I would imagine this, you know, out here is probably the full bit. They just started swinging at rocks or whatever the hell they did to get it like this. So we're really not taking off that much in the end. So we'll end up just, and I'll use a grinder for that. You can use a file. That's going to take a little longer. I have a belt grinder. You're not going to want to use a stone grinder. It's going to get a little too hot. So probably a file, if you don't have a belt grinder, is going to be your only option there. Next, we also want to treat the eye. We want to look in there, make sure all our rust spots are out. I also like to kind of just dull down this edge so it sits in there. It's not cutting too much into the tongue. And just clean it up. This looks pretty good. For that, I'll use probably actually my Dremel. I use it kind of like on a slow setting. This is not really like heavy abrasive, and just go back and forth. But again, very easily. Sometimes I totally use a file if it's just a quick little thing. Sometimes there's a little bit of scaling, so it's nice to have a little pick to get at it, and that will be that. Next, I see some mushrooming, and so again, you can use a file and, you know, take a little bit longer, but you probably be a little bit more precise. I'm going to take this to the belt. I'm really going to focus on just taking off just what I need, so I'm not getting into our nice pitting here. I'll probably at the same time probably polish up the back here and put some bevels on this pole. But yeah, next I'll probably shift over and we'll go to the next phase of what we're going to do here on the rest of the face here and the cheeks, and how to make this really kind of a nice little project. It's always good to have a plan. You know, here we've scheduled something out, but you got to stay flexible too. We'll see. There's a chance I might, after I polish this out a little bit, probably with a surfacing belt, which is kind of basically like a Scotch-Brite kind of pad on a belt that's going to go quick here. I might try and blue it just to get some bluing in the actual pits here, and then repolish, and so you really get this nice contrast and depth. But we'll see. I don't know how it's going to take, and I don't know if I like how that looks. So we'll just have to wait and see. So on to the next thing. All right, ready for the grinder now. Probably going to do it as a time lapse, just to maybe I'll talk over about the individual steps. But again, I'm going to be taking off that mushrooming there. I'm going to bring back this edge and reprofile it, and then maybe put an edge on it right now. I might even use the surface cleaning as well to start initial shine on there, just kind of to see where it goes and see if I'll end up wanting to do a little bluing and then repolish to get that depth in there, but we'll see. All right, so the time lapse went a little bit quicker than I anticipated. So I'm going to try and voice over here and kind of talk you through this. I started off with a 36 grit belt. And you can see I'm kind of attacking the mushrooming at first. So we're doing, you know, this is obviously a very coarse belt. So we're doing a lot of material removing here. We're just trying to get just the mushrooming portion off. We don't want to cut into our pretty pitting that we're eventually going to polish. And here I'm just kind of straightening the pole before I eventually go back and put some chamfers around that, or bevels, whatever you want to call it. Next, I'll attack the edge. It's just the step I took next. It's not necessarily important which one to go first, but I do put the actual sharpening or the bit on there last. And here, a lot of people will use like a Sharpie just to give them like a guideline. I was pretty comfortable working without that. You know, you can't see it here, but I keep on checking quite a bit to see where I am. Eventually, I'll switch over to a coarse surfacing belt. I have a bunch of different belts or surfacing belts from coarse down to very fine. And that's really how we're going to bring out the majority of the polish out of this. So now I'm switching over to my coarse resurfacing belt here, and this again is where it's really going to start to pull out the majority of the shine. So we're going to have this kind of brushed look. That's gonna then we'll later on it's going to switch to a finer belt that's really going to kind of give that polish really good. So since we had it soak in and we got rid of all the rust of there with the Evaporust. Really all that's left is to get it shined up. I thought maybe I would have to blue it to kind of get those pits to have a little bit more contrast with the polish, but it wasn't necessary. I actually got the effect I wanted without that, especially after oiling it up and stuff. So I'm still jumping kind of back and forth. I think I forgot to put the bevels on, and since I was polishing, or the chamfers on the pole, so I think I went back and wanted to nail that down so I could polish that at the same time and really give it that good brush look. And so here we are, the finishing up here with the fine or very fine resurfacing belt. I think I got these ones from Combat Abrasives because they made the size I needed for 36 by 2 here. And this is the final kind of prep. I mean, it's not an incredibly labor intensive job. You just, obviously it takes some practice. But the great thing about it is getting a bit like this lets you make mistakes. You know, there wasn't a super steep investment, but I hope this helps, and we'll move on to the next thing. All right, so I took it outside. Thought I'd finish up the video out here and give you guys a look, see what we did. The time lapse was a little quick, so I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of do some edits and maybe bring some voiceover and kind of talk through. I thought it was going to go a little slower and kind of be able to show you what I did a little closer, but it went pretty quick. But you can see we fixed up those bevels there. The mushrooming didn't come too far over. And look at this surprise too. If you look real careful where my thumb is there, that is an end for Norland. So this is, and then you can see just barely some text above. This is a genuine Norland. So super excited to be able to identify after we took those layers off that we got a really nice piece. We know it's not super old. I think Norlin was 68. I'm sure somebody can correct me there in comments and stuff. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. I hope it was informative. I do have a handle already kind of prepped and ready. Maybe I'll close out the video with mounting that. I didn't want to do the handle in this video too. Just too much to do all at once, I think. But just showing, you know, with a little practice and some practical tools, and a little bit of vision, what you can get out of these. I mean, this is a classic pit and polish, and I think it's going to be a nice finished product. I mean, I really am excited how this finished. All right, guys, I thought I'd show you one last video of the final product here. I made this handle. It's a hickory handle. I used a walnut stain and did a quarter wrap. I've done a quarter wrap on a lot of these small bits. I think it gives a nice little splash of color. Also some practical use too. If you ever need a cord and you're around, I mean, this stuff comes off pretty easy. But yeah, so here is the finished product. Hopefully it's somewhat informative. I know hopefully through the edits I'll be able to talk through a little bit more of the technical sides of what I was doing on that speed stuff. Hopefully that comes through on the edit side. I also messed up on the orientation of this camera for filming this, so I realized I started one way and went back the other way. Sorry, I'm still new at this, at all of this. Filming, at the handle making, at the projects. I'm just trying to give you guys what I know, kind of almost sometimes when I know it, just to pass along. I know I look for a lot of resources early on. There's, you know, I use Instagram almost exclusively at first to kind of get my bearings straight. It's hard to find. It's hard to, you know, there is tons of information out there, but it's hard to figure out, all right, what is the exact next step? Sometimes we're hitting it even on these videos. Hopefully you're getting some window into that. Maybe on another video, I'll go over, you know, maybe a hatchet project, just the handle side of things on how to start. I know I've already put some stuff on seating or mounting a head, so I didn't want to really revisit that. At this point, I'm sure in the future I'll try and cover it again. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Again, here we go. Our Norlin project. It came out great, or at least I think it came out great. And excited that, you know, I didn't know what it was when we started. I had a feeling it was maybe good. I just knew that we could use it at least for instructional purposes of bringing back the edge and kind of showing you what a pit and polish is. And now we have it. We got a great little bit, great little project. I'm going to make a sheath for it. I'm not going to do a video on that at this point. I think there's some on Instagram. Speaking of which, if you like the videos, subscribe, share with your friends, please. Go to the Instagram, Stumptown Axes, the website, stumptownaxes.com. I got t-shirts, hats on there. Occasionally I'll be putting a project on there, not this one, but other projects. You can also get a sample of some of the pricing for projects, of what to expect there too, just by visiting the website, stumptownaxes.com. And yeah, we'll see you soon. I'll try and get a couple more projects together maybe and talk to you soon. I got some other projects. I know I've been previewing or threatening another project, but there's going to be one soon. And it's already in the works. And yeah, I'll share that. I'll share that soon. Guys, take care. Appreciate it. Thank you for support. I do appreciate it. I'm a beginner. You're a beginner maybe. I doubt, you know, super experienced people are watching this. So we're all beginners. We're all trying to move towards a better place of craftsmanship and strive for a better product. We'll see you soon. Bye.